Look, we might as well just go on and get into it because you ready. I'm ready too.
There's nothing that's off limit.
You heard that right? So we're on go now.
Okay.
Now you pronounce your name Bilal.
Yes.
Okay.
Everybody call
Brother Bilal.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Bilal is first caller of prayer.
Okay, because you are Muslim.
Yes.
Okay, so you don't eat no pork.
I don't eat no
You
pork.
sleep with white women?
I have. I told you nothing's off limit. Listen, if we gonna talk, we gonna talk. Like we not playing no.
But you don't drink.
No, I don't drink.
And you don't do no drugs.
I don't do no drugs.
Okay.
But I've had the other meat.
Okay. And I was about to offer you some wine. So give me my glass back. Give me my glass.
I had to try it.
I know. How was it?
It wasn't for me.
It wasn't for you.
It wasn't for me.
Listen,
it wasn't
Jamie
for me.
Foxx would have a lot to say.
Yes, it definitely
Don't you
wasn't
come for
me.
his sisters like that.
Hey, listen, they can have those.
The white women, don't you come for his sisters.
Hey, listen, they can have it. I
And
tried
you know
it.
what? You know Jamie too.
Very well.
Oh my God! Listen, once we done with this Will Smith wine, I'm just gonna have to ask you a few questions about that.
See, Jamie see, as you know, I know hundreds of celebrities.
I know, yeah.
Like, just hundreds, right?
Yeah.
And we'll get into that too. It's just Will and Jada I got a problem. Then there's one other celebrity. This is off the record. If he have his people call me one more time and tell me I need to cool out, I'm coming back to your show and we going all in on this.
Okay.
We're going to have a whole...
Well, we ain't got to cut that because we don't know who he is.
Okay.
So listen, but we will.
Yeah.
Please keep calling him.
Yeah, if he keep calling, that's a whole show just on this clown.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's a clown.
Wow.
Absolute clown.
So 40 years.
Yeah.
You've known Will Smith.
38 years.
38 years.
38 years.
That's like as long as I've known my sisters, my mama. So you guys, did you grow up together?
Yeah, so ironically in Philly, I worked in radio. I guest host on a radio show in Philly called The Rap Digest with Mimi Brown, Philly's best WDAS. Man, I'm getting
Okay, I
again.
see that microphone in front of you.
Yes.
Okay.
I get fluid with it.
Okay.
And that's where I met Will. Because, during that time, in 87, 86, rap was emerging in Philly very much so. And, he used to come up to the station and, do interviews at that time. He had the Parents Just Don't Understand out. So he was popping, but, he wasn't a worldwide phenomenon. But an incident happened at the radio station where the guys who put out the record on Will before he made it big, one of the guys came up to the station to put pressure on him, basically to extort him. And he's been trying to extort him prior to that.
For what?
Well, he feels that he contributed to Will becoming a superstar by investing. Philly's a big Muslim town, is a big extortion town. So if you're not a gorilla, you're not going to survive in Philly if you got money. You might as well pack it up and go. And it's a sad state of affairs, but anybody know that Philadelphia culture, you got to stand strong. You definitely got to stand strong.
I just know the culture of the food.
Okay.
Absolutely amazing. Okay. Especially the African community there, the West African community.
Yes.
For the suya, all that stuff.
Food.
My God.
Yeah, what you talking about?
What?
So, but Philly's a very dangerous place, always been a very dangerous place. So that day, it was 6 people in the studio. It was Mimi and I who actually hosted the show. It was the gangster and his friend, and it was Will and Charlie who ended up coming to the studio. And a guy that I call Charlie the Rat Mac now, but I'll get into that later. So they came in. It was about 20 people in the studio. The guy told everybody to leave. The guy he was with was brandishing a weapon. So everybody ran out the studio. There was about 20 people in there. At the time, Mimi said, Bilal's going to stay in the studio with me. So they didn't say anything. And I knew this individual. He was Muslim, and he knew me to be Muslim. He didn't say anything. So I stayed there. So when Will and Charlie the Rat Mac came, that's when things took a terrible, terrible turn. So while Will was, on the microphone being interviewed, the guy was like, yeah, you better tell everybody how, this guy helped you out, put money up for you. Now you acting like you don't know anybody. So at the time, Charlie the Rat Mack was kind of his bodyguard, and, Will gave him a nod, and Charlie hit this guy so hard, like blood gushed out his eye. So it was like a blood scene in there. So the guy went down. He tried to get up. Charlie hit him again. Blood splatters again. And it's like a blood scene in there. So
Will Smith.
Yeah, well, no, Charlie Mack did.
Charlie Mack.
Will told him he
That's
gave
what
him,
I'm saying.
yeah,
Like a gangster?
Yeah. Well, it was the gangster's, I guess, enforcer. So they didn't do nothing. They knew not to do nothing to this particular guy. They knew that. But the enforcer guy got it.
So he had the protection of the streets.
Yeah. Pretty much so.
I don't know. Will Smith, because he's like a cartoon rapper. He's not like, was he doing more hardcore rap back in the day? Or
nah, he didn't do hardcore rap. That's what made him special. See, you can't do what everybody else does. Like, he stayed in his lane and became authentic to what, he had. But Will knew a lot of goons and a lot of gangsters. So
okay.
Will
just gave somebody the eye.
And Charlie,
and the person almost lost their eye.
So let me. This story is going to be incredible.
Please. I'm sorry. I just had to.
It's a lot to digest. We got
time.
Okay. I love that.
Go ahead.
So the guy's bleeding. It's blood everywhere. So I get up and I'm like, yo, y'all gotta get the fuck out. Oh,
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I just want to be okay. I just want to be authentic to the conversation.
We don't give a fuck.
Okay. So I was like, y'all gotta get the fuck out of here. So I'm telling Charlie, trying to get back at the guy. I'm in the middle. I'm grabbing Will out the chair. Like, y'all gotta go. So as they're leaving, there's all these police, almost like SWAT units coming to the radio station because the people that they told to leave and he was brandishing a gun must have called the police. So they locked down a whole radio station. And, I told Mimi Brown, I said, listen, that guy tried to hit Charlie first, right? And she like, I said, yeah. I said, they're going to come here and ask us a bunch of questions. And what I saw was this guy tried to hit Charlie, but Charlie connected first. And she said, cool. So essentially that, I lied for Will that day and Charlie the Rat Mack so they wouldn't go to jail. And that cemented me and Will's relationship as brothers because we were already friends. But that is what brought us into brotherhood.
Okay. That's it. I'm still like...
And you can Google this, too. You can go on and look at Will, and there was an APB out on Will. Not Charlie, but Will. So the whole police force was looking for Will, and there's his mug shots and everything that's available.
How old was he at the time?
I think Will was like 19, 20. We were young. He probably was 19.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, at least we know, because, the first time we saw him, really put his hands on somebody... We was just like, that's kind of a bitch move, slapping somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he didn't do it that day. He had Charlie the Rat Mack do it, but, it take a lot to get that nod because a lot come with it.
But I did see him when someone tried to kiss him. Yeah. I'll never forget that. He was on the red carpet, somebody tried to kiss him. I think he ended up slapping the shit out the guy, too.
Yeah, he gave him a little...
And then I saw something different come out of Will that day. It was kind of like he grabbed the man by his, the back of his neck, like, yo, don't fucking do that.
Listen, no matter what me and him are going through right now, right, and we're going through it, and we'll get into that. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to take anything from him. Will fuck the average guy up. So I don't care who was on that stage. Will got hands, period. But he can't use them, of course. Yeah, $500 million.
He's a chick.
Yeah.
He's a check. Listen.
So it's just like, when we worked on the movie Ali, Will has professional boxing skills. He didn't display him on that slap, though. You know what I mean?
I forgot about that. Yeah. He did take a year to get in shape just for that role.
Yes. That was a year of training that, I was there the whole step of the way. I assisted him on that movie. So that's one of the movies I did with him. Okay. And his hands is just certified. So he got hands. So no matter how soft he may be or feminine, Will'll hurt you.
You said feminine.
Well, you know, he has feminine tendencies. I'm not saying nothing that is new. You know,
yeah, that's true.
So
that's
it's
true.
at the end of the day, it's like I'm not casting aspersions. It just is what it is.
Right.
You know, I'm not. One thing I'm not going to do in none of these interviews as I promote the book and reveal a lot of things.
And your book is called Demonic Circle.
So yes, it's Will and Jada Smith.
Where's my copy?
Well, okay, so let's get into that. So the name of the book is Will and Jada Smith, Demonic Circle.
Okay.
It was due to come out in December, but Will and Jada's team heard that I was putting out a book. Everybody knows if you Google, Jada book was supposed to come out in 2024. They heard my book was coming out, and there was a rush to get her book released before mine's.
Why do you think that is?
Because I have the information. This is the first time in history that someone from Will's Inner Circle was speaking. You don't have that. And there's nobody from their inner circle with credibility that has ever said anything. Everything has always been speculation. Period. You can't name
And so
one
you
person.
you and Jada got smoke with each other, don't you?
Oh, we got this. Yeah, it's that lady has verbally abused me for a number of years. But at the end of the day, that's fine. Because, see, this is what we got to understand. When you're trying to reach new heights in life, right, and you're trying to go places, because what I represent is thought leadership, right? It's where I come from in Philly, people don't have any idea how hard it is. So when people see me doing my thing with celebrities or being with Will or doing this or doing that, that's possibilities. They look at me and say, I can do it. So as I move and groove, it ain't just for me. It ain't just for my family. It's for all my Muslim brothers and sisters back in Philly, knowing that if you apply yourself, educate yourself, and you willing to fight, you can go places, but when I already came, I was a street guy. So all the goons know me in the street and respected me. I respected them, and they gave me information, and they saw things within me that I didn't see in myself. So that gave me the strength to keep fighting to the point that I really didn't have to fight anymore because the reputation was there. So, I represent possibility. I want people to see me as my people in Philly and all across the world see me here with you. I want to let them know that it's possible for them to get right here, but it's no easy task. You got to educate. You got to be reading, writing, studying, traveling, and really sucking in uncommon information so that you can grow and that for me, I consider myself a beacon of light. Like you looked at my Instagram, you see the hundreds of celebrities that, I've done business with, done things with. It is, people are attracted to light. Period. And at 55 years old, I still have my glow. I still have my light. I didn't let people like Jada defeat me. I didn't let other influences defeat me because I know what I represent. When people see me from where I come from, they rooting. And I'm telling them, keep fighting, keep educating yourself. Get on your knees, make that prayer, because work without prayer is ineffective and prayer without work is ineffective. So that is what I represent. Possibility.
Well, thank you so much for clearing it up, because a lot of people gonna have a lot to say about this.
Oh no, we gonna get so deep.
Who needs it? You heard that famous saying. Now I love it. I ain't got nothing to do with this. You know what I'm saying? You are the reason we're able to do what we do. But they're gonna say, who needs enemies when they got friends like you?
Well, let me address that, and that's a very good question.
Okay. So
the answer to that question, during the latter years of our relationship, Will was not my friend. I was his friend. So I'm dealing with a person now.
Oh, wow.
Who's an enemy, right? It's not like, there's beef, right? Now, if I was doing this without any beef, then I shouldn't even be here, right? There's no
purpose.
Right. There's no purpose of being here.
So there's true smoke.
Oh, smoke. Oh, we gonna get it. It's smoke.
And so let's back up. And I'm glad. And towards the end of the interview, you know what I'm saying, I want you to explain that. You know what I'm saying, and throughout it as well. But I just kind of had to put that out there because we don't control like how people perceive any of the content here. Will people either love them or they hate him. And people are really not fucking with Jada right now.
Absolutely.
Heavy.
Right.
So for you to come out and then you're saying, I don't fuck with this lady either. I got all the smoke for her, and that's the reason why you sitting here. Yep. You're here because you were in the circle. You saw a lot that was going on, according to you, and you just want to clear it up. So it may kind of give that you are taking up for Will a little bit.
Well, at first I was. See, here's my thing.
Okay.
Will is complicit in Jada's behavior. See,
I agree. I agree.
It's like, if I have a problem with someone's wife, right, I'm not going to go to their wife. I'm going to go to the husband. And then we're going to have a conversation like, yo, your wife is out of pocket, bro. Like, she's doing this, and this. And let me just say this to make things
But you know
clear.
what? Will's ex-wife said that Jada was always out of pocket.
Oh, listen.
So she would call the house and Jada would answer the phone and, just all types of shit. You know what I'm saying? So she's been the one that's always controlled who was around him,
yes,
who could talk to him,
yes,
who could get to him.
Yes.
And she didn't want him the entire time.
No.
Okay.
Nah. She, like I tell people, you got to look at Jada's from Baltimore. Mother strung out on drugs, the prettiest girl in Baltimore. And, she's in a house with, no gas, no electric, no food. She's going to do what she got to do to survive, right? And I understand survival. So, she had to do a number of things. And I thought it, for me, it brought hatred. Like, she began to hate men for what they did to her in order for her to survive, right? That's, because I've had intimate conversations with her, and I know a lot of guys, being in the street, they would come from Baltimore because we had narcotics in Philly that, they didn't have other places. So, they're going to come to Philly and get the Percocets. They're going to come get the pancakes and syrup. Like, it's just certain things. So I know a lot of them guys, but Jada's already famous out there for being the most prettiest girl out there. And, rolling with the drug dealer. So all that talk about her being a drug dealer and all that's hyperbole. Like, you was the pretty chick. You know what that was about. You needed money. They wanted you around to use and abuse you. And then they'll throw you a little something. Period. It's the classic
So you said they was fucking Jada.
Of course. They was running through her.
Well, she did say she had a sex addiction.
Yeah. And see, and all these things, and that's the point that I'm talking about. Like, she said she masturbated at 8. She was masturbating. So she, it's called hypersexual. Like, people drop things but don't go into detail. So it's like you got a hypersexual young woman who's the prettiest girl in Baltimore, one of the most talented, beauty pageants, all kind of stuff, and you're broke and don't have your no food in the refrigerator, your lights is out. You're gonna do what you gotta do to survive. And I don't, I'm not trying to judge her for that part, because I'm sure we all did things that we needed to do to survive. Even myself in the street, it's like, if I'm faced with certain adversity, it's self-preservation, because I'm going to walk out this house no matter what I got to do. You know what I mean? Yeah. To get out. So that part is an understanding. But my thing is, where she is now, you don't. But let me take it in steps, because sometimes
it's okay. No, I was following you. Yeah.
So you come from Baltimore, very talented, known as the most beautiful girl in Baltimore, and now you come to LA. Well, just because you come to LA, your sex addiction is not going to stop, right? The little drugs you're doing is not going to stop. Your hatred for men is not going to stop. You thinking that you can use men for the come up, being beautiful, is not going to stop. So when you get to LA, you're going to utilize, the only skill set you have is to offer your body and your beauty to a man.
Damn.
So we got to get into it.
Shots fired.
Yeah, from a psychological aspect. So when she gets to Los Angeles, everybody's on her. Oh, this girl is beautiful. Oh, she hot. Da-da-da-da. So she gonna finesse her way to the top. Period. That's how she got to L.A. She had to suck and fuck her way there. So she gonna have to suck her fucking way, because that's all she know. No man never imputed love. She's operating from survival. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. She's operating from a place of survival. So when she get to LA and these big actors and all, oh, you beautiful, baby, she already know what to do. She knows they got money. She needs the money. They got access to movie directors, and listen, she gonna do what she got to do to get that access. Period.
And she got a $500 million access right now.
She got the big lick. She got the bigger, but you know, like even my, you know, like
her and Marjorie Harvey need to write a book together.
I don't know her person.
That's the book we need.
Yeah, because I'm thinking in the book, I'm thinking Jada going, you know, drop names and like I said, she did what she had to do to get on top. Both men and women. She did, because that's the only thing.
But you know what's so funny? She said on the Red Table Talk, because I think her daughter was talking about having polyamorous relationships and stuff. And kids just don't come up with that. They're taught that. They've seen that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? They don't believe in formal marriage because of what they've been taught. You know, they've kind of witnessed growing up. And like she said, she wasn't with women, and then all of a sudden, you know, in the book, or in a recent interview, I was with women. And I'm like, Jada, you just be lying. She does not remember her lies.
Well, here's the thing.
Like her son in the shrooms.
Yeah, well, she's a dope fiend. Like let's just break it down, right? It's, you know, she have admitted to being addicted to drugs and prescription drugs. Mm-hmm. And she said that she moved to Hiawatha, right? Her and Will, to get off the prescription medicine because they feel that the herbal medicine was better. So within that, we gotta unpack it. We gotta hold on. You're saying you were addicted to prescription drugs. Well, how did you get these prescription drugs? And these are one of the things where me and her had an issue because she wanted me to put some prescriptions in my name for her. I'm not fucking doing that. I'm not doing that. So this lady's already admitted to being addicted.
But Lau, you brought the whole Nation of Islam with you today, didn't you? This shit finna rock.
You know.
The nation. She really, according to you, like she really tried to get you to put prescription pills
in her name. So here's
which
the thing.
Pills? What were they? Percocet, Somas, Valium, Adams.
Come on, you know she want them Perk 30s. Stop playing with me.
Okay.
So she's already admitted to being addicted to prescription drugs. Well, how do you give them? You admitted that. Here's the thing about me. I could take your information and use it as evidence. You admitted that. So if you're addicted to those, if they give you 90 pills, then you only got 90 pills. But if you're addicted to them, you're going to need more. How are you going to get more if you're addicted to them? And you live in a bubble. Her and Will live in a bubble. There has to be an enablers. There's no such. If you look at the culture in Hollywood, is an enabling crowd. So she could tell somebody else, "Oh, do this. Oh, I'm doing this because I'm with Jada." Nah, I'm not doing. I'm not getting Perk 30s. Come on now. What are we doing? What are we doing? But you have people around that will help facilitate that. Like that's weakness. Now I lose who I am as a person. I'll use my shine because, of course, she can't keep her mouth closed. Now everybody say, "Oh yeah, Brother Bilal, her source. He getting prescriptions for her." Now, what that make me?
A drug dealer.
Of course. So nobody can
that works for the Nation of Islam.
Well, I'm not in the nation. But so just so you know, I started in the Nation of Islam, and then I moved to a more Sunni traditional part. But I was in the Nation of Islam at a very young age.
It was a joke. It was.
I know, but I do want to definitely clarify that. And yes, I do have people that's downstairs. Yes. Okay. Without question, because like I say, when you have evidence and as Muslim and because I'm gonna drop a lot of bombshells. So as Muslims, we are prescribed to have receipts, right? Like I showed you some things before we even started. I won't do an interview unless I can show receipts. I will not do an interview unless I can share certain things from my arsenal or I can provide reference to what I'm talking about, because I still have to comply with the rules of my belief. And as Muslims, we are incumbent to have receipts. So what I'm saying is not speculative. This is real life stuff.
Okay. Now, Whew, we just jumped right into some shit. Let's back up just a little bit. Okay. So Will has his goons knock a motherfucker out in your station, okay? You and Will get tight from that because you didn't snitch on him. You basically took up for him.
I lied.
You lied?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, It is what it is.
I'm going to call, listen, sister, I'm here because, and I shared this with you, and let me share it to your listeners, right? I have so many people that want to interview me right now, right? And for me, it's about making the decisions that I want to make to share my story. And I'm like a fan of yours, and I have love for you. For not the content stuff, but more so your fight, right? Like, I know what you had to do to have the ability to sit in front of that microphone and have millions of people watch you.
Yeah.
Like, I could feel your fight, and I believe that once you reach an apex in this, and you will be on top of this,
Thank you.
And I think that fight will turn to a fight of helping our people and helping other young sisters, because you know what fights. You know the days that you had severe pain. You know the days that you didn't want to keep going, but you had to keep going. And I think your story is going to be very inspiring. So that's why I'm here. And you know, and I know, we don't have to say where from, but I was flown in internationally.
Yes.
I didn't charge you for this interview, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Thank you.
So once you reach that apex, I need you to help these young sisters that need that direction. I need you to help these young sisters to teach them what that fight is.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, like every day you ain't gonna want to get up. You ain't gonna want to keep fighting, but you don't know nothing else. You gotta keep fighting.
Right.
It's either feast or famine. And when I look into your eyes and I see you talking and you battling different, I was like, this sister, she with it. Cause you ain't going back to where you came from. Let me put it like that.
It's the bloodline, though.
Okay.
You know, the ancestors remind me every day what my mission is.
Okay.
So I talk to them every day through prayers.
Okay.
And I think the more we, as a people connect with our ancestors, they teach us so much.
Okay.
About ourselves, spiritually, physically, mentally. They can intuitively show you, what decisions need to be made. Even if you end up making a bad decision, they've tried to warn you, and so I just make sure I always stay grounded, never in any circles that I'm not supposed to be in. Okay. And if I'm supposed to be there, then I was supposed to be there for a reason,
Absolutely.
So thank you. I really do.
So that's why I flew in internationally.
Yes, you did.
I didn't charge you to do this interview.
And I didn't pay you either.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, so people be thinking I be paying. I'm like, I don't know. I want interviews to be authentic.
Right.
So thank you so much.
Well, most people are paying, so that's what people understand.
And listen, we go through it all the time, and people be like, "Well, this person offered me this."
Yes.
I'm like, "Listen, come when you're ready."
Yep.
That's just how I am. I want authenticity, and I don't want heightened, theatrics just because there's a check and ball. I want you, and I want your heart, and it always punctures. It hits where it needs to hit. I feel like if you're paid for it, then it's going to be an incentive there. And it's like, are we really getting the real story?
Nah.
So it's a moral thing. So
I love it.
But thank you. So you and Will Smith, y'all tight. Y'all tight like thieves now.
Right.
At what point, because I read his book, and he shared a lot in that book. Like I was shocked that he said, he thought about wanting to kill his dad.
That's true. That's true. That's
like
true.
pushing him down the steps, and he was in a wheelchair and everything for beating on his mom every day. And he saw that. He was so real in that book. So when Jada comes out with a book and I don't see that realness, it's kind of like, you still ain't telling the truth. And that white lady she interviewed with said, I feel like, you don't be telling the truth all the time. I said yes to that white bitch. Right. She called her a liar to her motherfucking face.
Well, this is what you don't understand. And I've worked, Will, I worked for one who was the biggest star in Hollywood as his assistant. So as it relates to Jada, they can't go too deep because they sign all kind of agreements prior to doing an interview. If Jada doesn't approve it, it can't come out. So they try to touch the lines of what they can say. But if I was interviewing Jada, I would be asking a lot of hard questions. I'm sure you would too.
Oh, of course.
But in the ones she set up, they're not asking the hard questions because the interview would be over and they couldn't even use the footage. That's what I'm saying. You gotta when you're on the inside and you see how these big operations work. Now I know I would have asked her, well, hey, you did X, Y, Z. Well, you lied here. This is what you lied about. This, and that. Like, do you care to? They can't say that because the interview's over. and they can't use the footage. So they'd rather take the lies to get the views. And then once again, people are now confused. This is, man, this.
It's just the more she speaks, the more confused we get, you know?
Well, the more lies she tells, the more, like you listen, you ain't got to say it. I'll say it for you.
You can't remember your lies. Like, is it your son that introduced you to shrooms or you introduced your son to shrooms? Which one was it? And to me, as a parent, you have no business saying your son introduced you to no motherfucking psychedelics. Like, come on.
Right.
Like, you the fucking parent.
Right.
It's just, and I feel like she's trying to blur lines and make shit acceptable because I feel, in my opinion, she still dwells in a lot of that shit. She still lives that life.
Of course. Oh, what are you talking about? She's in that bubble. Man, you gotta, man, see, you never been to the house before, but this thing is an estate. So, I mean, whatever you want, you work for $500 million and the world is at your feet. And people, you want to be worshiped, you got the kind of money to do that. You want drugs, you going to get it. You want men, you going to get it. You want women, you going to get it. After a while, you need excitement. She's searching for something. This is a sick woman that's searching for something, but has a man behind her that's complicit in all her acts because she's holding things over Will's head. So Will feel he has to be complicit.
What type of things is she holding over Will's head? Like, from the time you met Will was straight, right?
As far as I know, yes.
As far as you know?
Yes.
Heterosexual?
Yes. Okay. He ran through a lot of beautiful women in Philly. Okay. Beautiful. Absolutely.
So you was around when he met his first wife?
Yes. Well, I didn't live in L.A., but I met Cherie because I would come to California quite often. And when I would come to I met Cherie. So, yeah, I was around before they had Trey and everything. And she would be hanging, around at the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air set.
Okay. So is it, in your opinion, do you feel like Jada intentionally took Will from Sheree? Or were they truly having problems?
Well, of course they were having problems, but once again, Jada was the woman that everybody wanted. And Will needed that validation to have that type of woman. Although Sheree was beautiful.
Yeah, she's beautiful. Yeah.
But Sheree wasn't doing no movies. All the big guys in Hollywood wasn't trying to, celebrities weren't trying to get at her. It was Jada. So Will was like, oh, I got to have that. He got to have that. So
it was Will the one that stepped out of his marriage. What Jada didn't really have to do anything. But be herself.
Yeah, I mean, they were already going through it because there were some alleged things that said that, Cherie caught Will in bed with Benny Medina. So
who?
Yeah, Benny Medina. Benny Medina is who the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is based off, and he's a big talent manager. He had J-Lo, Puffy, a bunch of them. He had Will at one point, and he's a known homosexual as well. And he presents that. So, yeah.
Did you ever talk to Sheree about that to get confirmation?
Well, I didn't need confirmation because I saw the interaction between Will and Benny Medina. So it's a funny.
What was their interaction?
So this is crazy. So now here's the scene. I'm coming from Philly, the streets of Philly, but I'm coming back and forth to Los Angeles, right? Okay. So their that entertainment culture is
keep
different.
Talking. Yeah, I know you don't drink.
No.
I'm gonna drink for you.
Okay.
Go ahead.
And so I'm hanging out at the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, as I do when I go out there, and I'm in Will's dressing room. There's a bunch of guys from Philly or whatever the case may be, and Benny Medina hollers down the hall, Will, I'm going to come see you in a minute. So, so he comes up there in a few minutes and he pokes his lips out like he's going to kiss Will, right? And I'm like, oh, man, I got to beat the shit out of this dude. Do we pack him out? Like, all right, well, I'll just wait because I'm, I don't know this culture, right? And Will kissed this guy on the lips.
In front of you?
In front of everybody. Nobody does nothing. And I'm like, no, I'm just thinking, I'm like a deer with the headlights. I'm like, did y'all just see that? And where I'm from, that's not common. Maybe out in California it is. So it's a cultural thing.
And Ben, he white, right?
I know. Benny Medina's black, but he's a very light, fair skin.
Okay, I always thought he was white.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Benny Medina is definitely.
And so you saw him with your own eyes?
With my own eyes.
Was it a pucker?
Yeah, of course. It was a kiss. I wasn't with no long romantic movie kiss, but he kissed that man. And I'm like, nobody. Now, this is before I work with Will.
Okay. You were just coming back and forth.
I was coming back. You know, Will.
He was married to his first wife.
Cherie, but talking to Jada. But at this time, it's like it's just weird. It's hard. It's hard to explain. But now with the knowledge and information I have, because what I did in the book was to pull more research was I hired 2 private investigator firms. Right?
Okay.
To find out a lot of the allegations that were made towards people in Will's circle. Okay. Right. And as we get into the interview, I'll start to give you real examples right, of how that goes. But seeing that, I said, wow. And I just didn't know how to take it coming from Philly and seeing something like that. But with my knowledge of now over having 30 years in the business, it's like, okay, this is the grooming. This is how the grooming starts. I didn't know that back then. But now, you know, having spent decades in LA, I'm like, yo, they was grooming him all this time. So after that becomes 6 degrees of separation. And we can get into that a little bit. You know, Will plays a gay guy, but you got to look at how Will prepared for the movie. So he admits to watching a lot of gay porn to learn how to kiss a man, to learn feminine attributes, right? So I find that bizarre. They flew him out to Europe to watch live sex shows, right? And I'm like, yo, this, like, I'm from Philly, so I'm just like, this is he's going in. He's, in his mind, he has to know how a gay man interacts with people, talking, mannerisms, getting ready for a love scene with another man. I'm like, why are you, like, in my mind, I'm like, why are you doing this? Like, why, you have a successful TV show. Why go to playing a gay man? And why go to the extremes? Because anybody know Will, when he puts his mind to something, every character, he goes in solid. You watching gay porn, you're going to live sex shows.
That means he had to get aroused by watching it.
That's what. And we end up finding that became, I believe that became his addiction to men. That was the addiction to men because he was in a safe environment, right? And they made that environment safe for him. So whoever he was, he could now become. And that created a monster. So I just want to give people a psychological, the psychological aspect of this. If you're playing a gay man and they're putting millions and millions of dollars into making a film, they're going to make sure that you're training and you're preparing for this movie. You're going to have to be in a circumference of homosexuality, period. I'm talking about for months.
You know what's so funny? I've never seen 6 degrees separation. I've never seen it. Probably because, how old was I when that movie came out? I can't remember. But, my family, they didn't allow us to watch any, sex scenes and stuff coming up.
Yeah.
And I thank my family for that because, when you have, access to, sex scenes and stuff, it plugs into the psyche in ways that you can't get it out. You'll always remember that visual sexually. And if it aroused you when you was a kid, it's going to arouse you when you're an adult. And so I'm so glad that my parents made me close my eyes or, and do stuff like that so I wouldn't, be exposed to any of that. So
that's heavy. That's heavy. So that right there cemented Will and to, I believe, being bisexual, which I know he's bisexual. I showed you a couple of things.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I got proof. I'm not, like I said, once again, I'm Muslim. I cannot say that this man is bisexual. And then I've saw sexual acts that I walked in on.
Who'd you walk in on?
Him and Dwayne Martin.
Okay.
I can give you the story. I can unpack it if you like.
Please unpack it. I had to unpack just that because, there's been rumors. And, of course, like I said, Tasha Campbell
Good friend of mine, my sister.
Didn't even know that, not Dwayne, Will owned her house with her husband.
Yes.
So you walked in.
So
tell me how you came to know all this, please.
So here's the thing. So me working with Will for a number of years and on a number of movies, right? I went to do my own thing, and so I was no longer working with Will, but it wasn't like we were at odds, though. Like, it was nothing bad. He gave me money to start my business. Like, there was a exit. It was an exit plan that came with money. And I still had access because it wasn't nothing nefarious the way that I left. So it wasn't like it was a bad thing. So I'm doing my thing, and I'm into the product placement, celebrity product placement. So just to unpack that a little bit, that brands pay me money to get their product to celebrities.
Okay.
And I make money when these celebrities wear the product, they take a picture or do a video.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that. Yeah.
I just wanted to explain to the people, because they like, hey, what is that? So essentially, it's a relationship-driven business, and then if you look at my Instagram page, there are hundreds of celebrities and influencers that I do this with, and that's based on relationships. Once again, it goes like I told you, when I work with Will, my thing was to always be that beacon of light, always giving people great salutations when I see them, always sharing kind words with them, always knowing that, I respect you no matter if you're cooking food or you're picking up the trash. So that's from top to bottom. And Will would always tell me that as you work for me, you have to build your own relationships because you won't be working for me forever. And in my mind, I'm like, yo, I'm flying on private jets. I'm staying at 5-star and above hotels. I'm getting like, my life is grand. I'm like, I don't want to leave this. But that's me just beginning. As you become somebody's assistant, after a while, it's just like, okay, now I have to find out who I am, because my life became Will's life when he did movies. So, as an example, when you're on a movie set, we're there 14 hours a day. But for myself, I'm there 2 hours before Will to make sure that everything's in place. So that gives me a 16-hour day, Then I'm there an hour after Will's leaves to prep for the next day. So that gives me a 17-hour day. So I got to go home, sleep, do what I got to do, but my phone's ringing all through the night because it's fluid. There might be a screen. There might be a change in the scenes. The director might want to meet with Will. The producer might want to meet with Will. So I'm there 2 hours early. It's a lot of work. It takes dedication to be an assistant of one of the number one actors in the world. So it's like I didn't have a life, but I was cool with that because I know that I was saving my money.
How much was he paying you?
He paid me well. he paid, like, I can't say that he didn't. No, it wasn't like I was making a lot of money, but you don't have to spend money when you with Will. That's
okay, so
thing.
you got to save your money.
You get to save every.
I know that's how my little team be feeling around here with me. They like, long as we with Tasha.
Right. And that's the thing.
I'm gonna start cutting y'all niggas off. You know what I'm saying? For real. Cause I be like, why they sitting there? But you know what I do now? I got this thing I do.
Okay.
So when we go out, I tell them, I'm like, I'm not paying for nothing. Even though we're working, right? Mm-hmm. We're working. I be like, I'm not paying for nothing. So they order according to their budget,
right?
And then at the end, they don't know if I'm paying or they paying, but they ordered as if it was their pocket.
Right.
Got them.
Well, Will's a little different.
It's that psychology I played on them.
Listen, Will's a little bit different. Will wants you to enjoy the perks of him being the number one actor in the world, but he demands that your work ethic be above average, period. He's laughing, joking, and all that kind of stuff. But one thing about me, my focus and my drive is so I'll work everybody, period. I wasn't the most talented guy when I got there, but when Will, called me from Philly and I came out there and he told me, he wanted me to stay and so forth and so on, I said, okay, I could do this because he said in Philly, you're Will in a fish tank. He said, you got to come out here so that you can grow exponentially. And I found out to be quite profound that he saw something within myself that I didn't see in myself. And that made me really come out there and want to learn to work 10 times harder than everybody else. And when I got there, I didn't just start working. I shadowed Will for for a long time, just traveling with him, seeing how things work. He told me to put in my mind, if I was in that position, what would I do? How will I handle these things? And we would talk about that. And, then I would go to movie sets that I wasn't even working on, and I would talk to the people in the hundreds of departments and find out the inner workings of how my day-to-day would be. It's a lot. It's like, it ain't like, oh, I need some mustard for my hot dog. No,
No, I get it. I've been on production sets.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, and you gotta imagine everything is going through me. I'm the point of contact for Will. So I'm getting...
You're getting it from all angles.
I'm getting it from all angles.
Now, what angle did you get when you saw, according to you, Will Smith and Dwayne Wade in bed? Tell me about Dwayne Martin.
Dwayne Martin.
Well, Dwayne Wade next.
Okay.
Allegedly.
Okay.
I always get them mixed up. I be doing that in my show.
I saw that on one of the videos I watched, and you had to. He's like, let me, because I was like Dwayne Wade, and I'm really good friends with Gabby. He like that. I never
wear
thought.
Some dresses.
Okay.
Yeah.
Listen.
He grooming his son right now. So listen, and I don't know too many heterosexual men as I hear grooming their sons. But that's Hollywood for you.
Okay.
Tell me about the day you woke up and you saw Will Smith and Dwayne Martin in bed. Now, were they both married at the time? Weren't divorced?
Of course.
Okay.
So, Will called me and said, hey, Jada and I produced. So Will, I strike that. One of Will's team members called me and said, Will and Jada are producing a show called All of Us. And Will wants you to come hold them down on the show. He's not going to be there every day. Will and Jada's not going to be on the show every day. So as soon as I heard Jada name, I was like, no, I'm not interested. You see what I do in my Instagram. I'm getting it. Mm-hmm. What I look like going to work on the WB show, right? I'm getting it, right? Okay. I'm having it my way. So I said, tell Will, thank you. I really appreciate, because you got to keep the peace. I really appreciate this opportunity, but that's not for me. So I get a call back in probably 7 minutes. The girl Janice said he wasn't asking.
Oh.
So I said, damn. So I gotta stop everything I'm doing, of course. So I was like, all right, cool. So, she told me, to go to CBS Radford Studio, gave me all the information. I see Will there, and he tells me, and I found strange. He said, listen, I'm not going to be on set every day, but we're producing this show, Jada and I. He said, I need you to hold Dwayne Martin down how you held me down for so many years. I'm like, what? Like, in my mind, I'm like, why do you need me to hold Dwayne Martin down on this little ass TV show?
Yeah, like, don't he got a wife?
Right. Well, just holding down, making sure his day to day, right? And I'm just,
so he basically wanted you to be his assistant. Like how you were to him.
Yes, absolutely.
For a TV show.
For a TV show.
Because that's all he had going on. He had no movies or nothing.
No, but Will and Jada are producing the show. But I'm gonna get to. It wasn't about me holding him down so that he can, work at his apex. He had me spying basically on Dwayne Martin because they were having a spat because Dwayne was messing with Lisa Ray's husband. I don't even notice at the time. I'm doing my product placement stuff.
That's why Lisa keeps saying Dwayne Martin took my husband in her interviews.
Yes.
Because she is still mad about that to this day. Dwayne Martin took my husband.
Yes. So what?
Lisa.
Yeah. That was.
And I read in between the lines because I was like, why is she saying it like that? Mm-hmm. What do you mean Dwayne Martin took your husband? Baby, if he took your husband, he didn't want you. He wanted the dick.
Yeah, well,
so they would take him on guys' trips and it would be orgies and stuff.
No, I never seen any of that with Lisa Ray's husband. I'm going to tell you what I did see. So I did see Dwayne and him going out with a lot of beautiful women, hanging out, partying. Sometime I would set things up because this guy, I guess, was supposed to be a big shot, some type of ambassador or something, whatever he was.
Yeah, he was like African country or something.
Okay,
I
I don't even. It's not
he
even.
was a light skinned nigga.
You know, so it was just crazy. You know, I would go ahead of time, like they used to go to the Firefox, and I would pay the valet guy $300 to make sure they can put their cars out front, and I would go find out to the manager, tell him, hey, I got
all this on a TV show salary.
Yeah. Oh, listen. See, here's the thing.
Because TV actors don't get paid like that.
Well, this is Will's lover. Dwayne got money. Come on, are you kidding me? You got to look at. He bought his house for him. He bailed him out of bankruptcy. Will had got subpoenaed by the FBI. Dwayne was about to go to jail for embezzling money, for hiding money in the bankruptcy with Tasha. So I want to see. It's a lot to it's so much to unpack. That's why.
Well, we have nothing but time.
Okay. Well, hopefully you'll have me back in 3 weeks as I do more interviews and I share more things because it's so much. No,
well, go ahead. We're here now.
Okay.
Let's talk about today.
I would go and give money to, the manager and say, hey, I need 2 girls at the table. So if any of our guests need anything, we can just basically snap our fingers and it's there. And so, then this is the all thing about being a great high level assistant. You got to know how to cater to egos. Mm-hmm. So when everybody pulls up, they can park their car. They come in. There's already food on the table. You got tubes. So I keep myself relevant. Like, the average person is not thinking like this, but working on with Will, your level of intellect and your level of discernment is much higher than the average person because you're functioning in a high functioning environment. So when I come to do something, I'm doing it like I'm going to do it with Will, So if that was Will coming, all these things would be done in this restaurant.
That's what he asked you to do.
Right.
So they come to the club. They out with all types of women.
Yeah.
Tisha's at home with the kids.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course. Being a good wife.
All right.
So, you see things, and I didn't see them two having sex, but of course, that
you're talking about Lisa Ray's husband and Dwayne.
And Dwayne, yes.
Okay, you didn't see them having sex.
No, I didn't.
But
see
Lisa
them.
did get on the internet and say he took her husband.
Well, I knew one of the girls. What she said, that there was an orgy, and I'm not going to get into that because I don't want to get into speculation.
Right. Okay.
Right. I don't see that's me.
So how did you get to Will Smith and Dwayne?
So let me tell you. So, Will did an episode of the show called All of Us, where he ironically plays Lisa Ray's love interest.
Okay.
And he starred on the show a few times. So of course he's there, and I have to take care of him. So meaning that production knows when Will come, everything should go through me. And he's wearing 2 hats. He's acting on this show, and he's executive producer. So we have a lunch break, and normally lunch break is never interrupted, but by Will wearing a producer hat, they say, hey, B, we need to get Will to break lunch for 15 minutes to come look at the next shot. He's a producer in the shot, not the actor. So I'm like, okay, and we already know, and if you don't know, Hollywood is the hurry up and wait game. So 3 minutes later, after them telling me, hey, you got eyes on Will, we need him to come watch this. So I'm running all over the studio. He's not in his dressing room. I go to the cafeteria. I'm like, but I see his car there. I'm like, where's this guy at? So now I'm holding Dwayne down too. So I have the keys to his dressing room. So I'm like, yo, and they're calling I'm on walkie-talkie, and they're calling my cell phone. Yo, we need to get Will here. And I'm like, yo, kind of fuck down. Like, I'm trying to find this is unlike him, right? So, all right, I open the door to Dwayne's dressing room, and that's when I see Dwayne and having anal sex with Will.
Let me process that for a second. Who was on top?
It wasn't a top. There was a couch, and Will was bent over on the couch, and Dwayne was standing up, killing him. Murder. It was murder in there.
Okay. What did you do?
I froze. What did you, see, I'm not used to seeing. Listen, it's traumatizing. I've never seen it. I don't watch gay porn. You know, I never seen a man fucking another man.
Will Smith was bent over,
and Dwayne was killing him.
Condom?
I don't know. I don't.
You didn't look that close.
Listen, even when I was with the deer and headlights, and I finally said, "Oh shit," and they turned around and said, "Close the fucking door," right? So I back out the door. I'm not going in there. Fuck no, I ain't going up in there. I back out the door, lock the door, I leave, right? So now I'm off of walkie-talkie, everything. So it's chaos on the set. Nobody can get in touch with Will. Nobody can get in touch with me. So I said, all right, I gotta leave. Then I said, do I leave or do I stay? So I said, you know what? I'm gonna stay, but my position is I didn't see anything, right? So Will says, I gotta talk to you. So I said, about what? He said, you know what? And I said, I don't know what you're talking about. And he said, oh, you know what I'm talking. I said, well, I have no idea. What are you talking about? What we need to finish today? Like, I'm trying to get that out. So he said, no, we need to talk. So he said, listen, I made a call. Some papers are going to come here today. I need you to sign them. And I said, why am I signing papers? And he said, listen, I'm trying to protect you. So he says 3 things that make me scared because I fear no man but Allah. But I don't fear nothing but Allah. And he said that you remember the transsexual, I hope I'm saying it right, who got caught with Eddie Murphy. He said, you know what happened to him, right? I had no idea what happened to the transsexual that got caught in the car with Eddie Murphy.
Me either. What happened?
So I go home and Google it. They murdered him. Or the transsexual. I don't know to say him or her. I don't know what's politically correct. So I hope I'm not offending anyone.
It's transgender, but
okay, transgender.
Trans woman.
So okay, so they said, now you can Google this yourself. This is one of the things he said. They said that the transgender that was caught in the car with Eddie Murphy, where Eddie Murphy paid this guy to have oral sex, or the transgender to have oral sex, was about to start doing interviews. And back then, they paid, the internet wasn't big. They paid you gobs of money to do interviews. Mm-hmm. And they said that the transgender person locked herself out the house, tied some sheets together from a roof, and tried to swing into the apartment from the roof. This is documented. Do you know anybody that get locked out the house that's going to tie some sheets together and swing into their apartment from the roof? Mm-mm. Okay. All right.
You just break a window.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I want people to Google that. So this is what he told me. And I go home and I'm on AOL. Plug-in. Not high-speed internet at this time. And I was like, oh, shit, they murdered this person, right? Then he told me that he made a song called You Saw My Blinker. But Will's claim to fame in rap is he never cursed on records, right? We'd agree, right? In that song, he calls the woman a bitch several times.
I swerved left and I swerved right, but she was still tailgating me too damn tight. To the left lane, I tried to switch, then you saw my blinker, bitch.
So I believe it's like, you saw my blinker, bitch. And then now I tell people to go Google that too. And he's talking about slapping the lady he's talking crazy. So he said, the powers that be got me to do that song. And he said, they said it will never make a light of day and they'll always protect me, even though I say I don't cuss in records. So I go home, I Google that. I do the search engine on that. It comes back, Will cussing on records. I said, this is crazy. Why haven't nobody ever called him out saying he never cussed on records? And he's obviously calling women bitches and talking about he gonna slap somebody on this record. Then he said, he referenced the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the first Aunt Viv, of how he got rid of her on the show, right? And she'll never work again. And he said, I don't want this for you. And I said, yo, I never went back. Never went back.
You didn't sign the papers?
I didn't sign the papers. I didn't talk to Will. I went to go stay with one of my friends, and I just disappeared for a minute. But this is the craziest thing ever. Guess who brought us back together?
Who?
Jada.
Really?
She calls me personally and says, I am having an event, and I would like you to be there. She said, it's at the Celebrity Center.
Okay.
And I said, well, what is that? She said, oh, it's just a place where a bunch of celebrities get together and, Will's going to be there. And I just want y'all to be happy. And, I want y'all still to be friends. And this don't even sound like her. So I didn't go. I get a call from another one of her assistants and said, oh, Jada's having another event at the Celebrity Center. And she wants you to be there. So I said, all right, give me the address. Give me all the information. I Google it. Guess what she was trying to get me to come?
Where?
To a Scientology center.
Oh.
I said, okay. No, thank you. You can't even make these stories up. You can't even make these stories up. So Will and I end up getting...
So the Celebrity Center is called the Scientology Center.
Yes. Yeah, but it's owned by the Church of Scientology. Okay. Which I have a whole chapter in the book about because Jada went in on that as well as Will. And that was the sickest display of behavior I've ever saw.
Give me some examples.
So all right, so we get back, even though I didn't go to Scientology Center, Will would, have these little events at his house. But you have people from the church and Scientology there are trying to recruit people to get into Scientology. Then Will would give all these books to people. I believe the book was Dianetics or something like that.
Yeah.
And some different other ones.
I read that book when I was doing research years ago on Scientology. Never was interested in it, but I've always been fascinated with
I did read the book. I did read the book.
That's some bullshit.
Yes,
though.
yeah. And if you read it, you can be like, this is a cult.
They hook you up to a machine.
Oh, man.
They press clear and all your depression is gone.
But you got to pay for it. Now, hey, Sister Tasha, listen, you can't leave the beautiful things out of situations.
You got to pay.
You got to put
I think the machine was like $2,000 or something.
Listen, then you got to pay for the courses. But I write, there's 2 chapters about that. Okay. Because they end up, opening up a school and that I don't even want to unpack that. But just to know, that is how me and Will got back together. They were trying to recruit me into Scientology. And it just never, that never played out.
Damn. Okay. So did Jada say anything to you? Like when she called, she just invited you and then...
She just called me. It was crazy. She called me out of the blue and invited me to the Celebrity Center. But when you hear Celebrity Center, you're not thinking about Scientology. So I just happened to Google the address because I'm like, yo, are they trying to set me up? It's been it's been about 3-4 months, So I'm just like, this is odd. She know I don't really rock with her. Yeah. And she's made it perfectly clear that she don't like me.
Let's talk about that real quick. I mean, why, and I know you kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, why don't you and Jada fuck with each other? Like, what happened?
So here's the thing. Jada didn't want anybody who had street sense around Will that would give him the ability to look at their disturbed relationship.
Y'all see the Latin premiere with my man Big Will. You know what I mean? 8 months. Style. I'm 8 months vegan, getting this weight down. Letting it shine, baby. You see the glow. Vegan. Yeah. You see the glow. We doing it. He got his nipples out. All feeling all flossy and sexy. Are you embarrassing me?
Right. So her thing was I was too nice to people. Her other thing was that I didn't give her the greetings and salutations that I gave others. So, for example, if I see you somewhere, I'm be like, Sister Tasha, how you doing? Boom, it's a pleasure to see you looking good. I see you still doing your thing. Listen, sister, keep going, keep moving, keep growing, and keep inspiring. And we might hug and keep moving, right? But from that, you might be like, I like that dude. So there were so many people that just that were just attracted to my light. And she didn't like that, you know? And one of her biggest things was, you don't greet me like, well, you're an evil bitch. How am I supposed to greet you with the highest of salutations and you always got an attitude? You don't want to receive. You know, you're coming from a place of darkness. Like, I don't even care and I don't work for you, but I work for you because she runs the show. It ain't no control that Will has because she has all these things on Will that he has to be a puppet.
Like what? Like, is it the homosexual? I mean,
No, well, we already dispelled that.
Did you and Will ever have closure conversation on that sense?
Heck no. I'm not having, heck no. There wasn't no closure.
Did Dwayne Martin ever try to come to you and talk to you?
Listen, because see, here's the thing. When you're dealing with a real cat, it's just like, listen, that's y'all thing. Like, I'm not gay bashing Will. I feel that Will should just come out. Right? Because it's going to eventually come out. My problem is Will is hurting more people protecting his secrets, right? Because you're trying to hide all these things and you're building up you're hurting so many people to try to hide what you're doing. So, for example, let's say like this is what Jada makes the new people do. And I ain't going to say new. They probably been there after myself, right? They will make you check into a rehab. And they'll pay for the rehab. Even though you're not on drugs, they're going to pay for the rehab. And you have to go if you want to work with them, right? Or be in their circumference. Then they're going to say, hey, we need you while these cameras rolling to go in there and take some money out of our pocket. You know, we left some money in the coat pocket. Go in the room. The cameras is going. Go in there and take that money out. Right? Do
they know the cameras is going?
Yeah, they're telling them because this is the setup that if they hire you or when they hire you, if you decide that you want to expose something, they going to discredit you. Oh, this person's a junkie. We love them, but we had to pay for their rehab. We got video of them stealing money out of our pocket. You know, they'll tell you, hey, give you your credit card, go shopping. Go get yourself some sneakers, a jacket, a hat, high end.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and then Jada will report the credit card stolen, but they won't press charges. So if you ever try to give information on Will or Jada, they automatically discredit you. So now it's like, why do you think people don't speak up? Why are not people speaking up? They can get a bag. I know what I'm offered for book deals. I know what I'm being offered, right? So it's the discredit game. If they clear to break their NDA, they're going to say, oh, man, this person's a junkie. Then, they're going to have some sexual acts on you. It's all kind of stuff they do. This is why people don't come forward. This is why people don't come forward.
God damn, why can't people just be real?
Here's the thing, Tasha. Sister Tasha. If you ask somebody, hey, do you got a friend that's the #1 star in Hollywood? How's it to be around him? Nobody can really answer that question but people that's been around Will. And I've been his friend for 30-something years, but during the end of it, he wasn't my friend and worked with him for several years. So I could tell you what goes on the inside. Everybody else is just speculation.
Big Willie, you know what I'm saying? LA book tour. Somebody told me I made my pictures in the book.
Your picture's in the book and your name is in the book. So you're doing some real elegant pimp. I'm blowing you up.
I love that.
I'm blowing you up.
My God, Big Will, we're going to see y'all in a minute.
What page you on? We're going to see what page you on. The chapter is purpose. You're in the chapter is purpose.
Wow.
Yeah, purpose. Let me see. Where's Bilal at? Hold on, let me see where you at. Hold on, you in here. Your picture too.
I love it.
Chapter, purpose, where you come to New York. To Africa. Train excited. We ain't gonna do this right now.
Right.
You right here. You need to, my boy Bilal.
Right.
Ended up losing 100 pounds during the training and filming.
I love it.
That's what we talked about, the African experience. Yeah, my boy Bilal Salam. You see that? That's your name.
So this is why there's a lot of people that want to hear my story. I'm giving you a true, authentic story. then it's like, okay, well, they can't discredit and say, well, he ain't got no money, he ain't doing this, he ain't popping. You look at the Instagram, I'm winning. I'm placing major products with major people, period. Getting it and getting it. I chose to leave the business because this is what happened. So let me tell you what happened with Will and I. Of course, I'm in Will's book, and I get a call from his people saying, hey, Will, we're just calling to let you know that Will has you in the book. And I was like, okay. I said, he don't have to do that because I don't know what's in there. I'm like, oh, man. I'm like, okay, like, right? I said, oh, no. I said, I appreciate it, but no, I'm good. So, they was like, no, it's not anything bad. So they tell me, what they said about, when we were in Africa and how pretty much, I was just that beacon of light to inspire people and, help get this guy through Ali, which just was a hard film to do, and then transition into Men in Black. So, he just talks about, that and so forth and so on, which is a good thing. But on the interim, as you see from my Instagram, I know a lot of celebrities and I place products. So his team was like, hey, could you do some gift boxes for us for Will's book that we can give to celebrities and so forth and then help promote the book? I said, okay, no problem. I can do that. So now this is somebody talking on behalf of Will. So I end up having a meeting with some of Jada people and some of Will people, but at this point, everything is just Team Jada. Will's people are just there to do whatever Jada says.
Hold on for a second. Hey guys, there's somebody outside the room yelling. Okay, go ahead.
All right, what I picked up from?
You said somebody was getting some water or something like that?
Water, hold me.
Hold on.
Okay.
Ah, shit. Okay. You can hear it, but the sound is up. But it's distracted to us. All right. Oops, sorry. On this finger.
Oh, goodness.
I know.
That wouldn't have been good.
Okay, go ahead. So, you're in Africa. Basically, you're talking about him putting you in the book.
Oh, no, I'm talking about them help me. They wanted me to help them with their book. Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, me doing a product placement, they wanted me to help Will with the book, with the book in terms of giving it to celebrities and creating a gift box with gifts that will include the book. So, I go to have a meeting at Will's office with Jada team and Will team. Mm-hmm. And when I'm talking about the first meeting, they treated me like I was a piece of shit. You would have really thought that I was a nobody and was just trying to get on. Now, you got to imagine, they seeked my help and with this. And I was just like, these people is crazy. Next meeting I go to, I record the meeting. And I'm talking about, I got them. Mm-hmm. I got them. Period. I got them. I mean, just
what were they saying to you? Were they?
So they was like, so how many companies can you bring? And I brought a sample of the gift box and everything, right? Yeah. That I would do and so forth and so on. And they was like asking me, well, are these people paying you? And what do you do with the money? And I'm like, what concern is that? Then it was a girl named Fawn. Now, Fawn has been with Jada for 34 years, just the evil witch. And she's in the book as well, too. She asked me a question. I got all of this recorded. I'll let you hear a little bit after it's over. Because in the book, just so you know, each chapter, after you finish a chapter, each chapter will have a QR code. And you can put your phone on that QR code, and whatever I said in that chapter, it goes to a website and give you the evidence of anything that I talked about.
Okay, that's dope.
So, and then of course I showed you how I'm doing movie trailers for the book.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. Like full on produced movie trailers.
Yeah, I saw that, yeah.
We're doing billboards, right? Where like it's going to be a thing because right now I'm self-publishing. But, since I've been doing interviews, book, people have been offering me book deals. So I need to decide whether I'm going to do it.
Just do Amazon.
How you
Just do Amazon.
Just do. Okay, got it. Got it.
And promote your book on shows like this.
Okay, got it. Thank you for that
No
information.
problem. No
I appreciate that.
No problem.
So I started to record them, and then it got to the point where they said, "Oh, we don't need you no more." I said, "Ho." I contact all my clients. I have them ship hundreds of thousands of dollars of product in, right? Will wanted me to do this, right? This is what I do for a living. I don't cut hair on the side. I don't shovel. I do celebrity product placement. This is what I do. There's nobody that has the type of placements that I have, period. So they said, yeah, we don't need you. So I said, well, what am I going to do with all my clients that I told to ship all this stuff? You know, their reply is like, we don't know, because you ain't really have nothing to do with this anyway. I said, oh, okay. Now, they don't know I recorded them.
Okay.
All our meetings, I started recordings.
Okay.
Saved all the emails, everything. I reach out to Will to say, hey, dude, they trying to, like, what's going on? No response. I reach out to Will again. No response. Then the slap happens. Now, you know I can't get in touch with him, but I can get in touch with Dwayne Martin, because Dwayne Martin called me after the slap to say what he had to say.
What did he say?
Will had his Tupac moment. I said, this guy's a fucking clown. This guy's a fucking clown. Both of them. That's what Dwayne Martin called me to say. Then even in the book for it as the QR code, his number is going to be, you know, redacted, but showing that his number called into me. So certain ones will be there, like the 818 and whatever the case may be, right? I said, this guy is a clown. He said, Will has his Tupac moment and let people keep talking shit. I said, Will just almost destroyed him. I didn't say that to him, but I'm thinking, because these people don't want to hear any other opinion that is not in agreement with theirs. So mentally, I'm thinking, Will just destroyed himself. And it's going to take a blessing from Allah and a lot of hard work to redeem who he was. And then we seen everything unravel after that.
When did you find out about Will and Jada separating?
Oh, yeah, I already knew that. So, all right, this is another thing that takes so long to unpack, but I'll make it quick. And this is going to be very devastating, but just follow along with me. And I ask your listeners to just listen to it slow and clear. Mm-hmm. There already been problems in Will and Jada's relationship with Jada's attitude and disrespect of Will, and her committing adultery with multiple men. Now, be it that they share sexual partners sometime, where other people call it swinging or whatever, but in Will's mind, you know, that's an understanding that they have. So if they choose to bring in another man or another woman in their relationship, that where after that's done, that's where it ends, right? And Jada would go outside of that, of having sex with other people, and that would destroy Will, right? And, you know, when Jada goes into her rants on Will, you know, she tell him he got a little dick, he can't fuck and all, like, that begins to chip at a man's soul. That hurts. Like, though, it's like getting, like a slave getting whipped for your woman to say that you can't please her, or, you know.
So according to you saw her say that Will Smith had a small dick?
Oh, yeah. Oh, when she get, listen, a lot of people have, I mean, Jada has said worse. Right? Jada has said worse because she's out of control and Will cannot control her. You understand what I'm saying? So, and at this point, you know, I would have conversations with Will and I see the decay. I'm not working with him at this time, but I'm still his friend. I'm at all the events.
Yeah.
You could look on Instagram, hugging me, B, this my guy, all this kind of stuff, right? But I know not to say nothing because years ago, I tried to say, yo, this chick is playing, like, you a trick. Like, I didn't say it like that, but essentially I'm saying, Will, like, you know, you buying a Ferrari, shopping sprees, getting private jets. And you just came from being bankrupt. And you're trying to impress this girl and about to go through a divorce. And you spending all this money trying to impress this chick that's from Baltimore that's obviously promiscuous. Like, dude, get it together. And you know, I've been there before too. It's like sometimes when a woman is just really good in bed, it take a mental thing to shake that, to say, yo, this chick not, like, I'm cohabitating with a woman that I shouldn't be cohabitating with. And this is something that maybe just the men audience is going to understand. Like, you got to shake that thing because they're controlling you physically. But Jada being a slick, you know, Baltimore chick and having the tutelage of pimps and hustlers and they giving her the game how to succeed on some sly shit. And I see her applying this game because I'm from the street to my guy. But he's so, I want her and, you know, she the baddest chick and so forth and so on, that he not paying attention to nothing. Nothing. Man, he cussed me out so bad. Tell me to stay the fuck out of his bed. He ain't never talked to me like that. Ever. And I was just, ever since then, listen, nothing. Even when he hit me and said, you know, he had thoughts of suicide and all that kind of stuff. But let me go back into the story because this gets really deep. So when I hear her talk to him like that, I can understand, because sometimes you can beat a person so much that they fall into submission. And that is where Will is at, you know? And, you know, she would say things like, yeah, I'm going to put that strap on. I'm going to put my Tim boots, my baseball cap and strap on and teach you a lesson. And I'm just like, yo, I'm serious. And I'm just like, yo, this is the number one actor in Hollywood. Why is he taking, I can't even understand it. But now I have a greater understanding because she took his pride away. He didn't think he was worthy. He didn't think.
I know he said he had had a sex therapist because he was determined to please Jada sexually.
Let me just say.
When he talked about that, I said, "What you mean you was determined with everything in you to please Jada sexually?"
Let me say that to you, Sister Tasha. If a woman is used to something the size of a baby leg and you come in with a pinky toe, she not going to be satisfied.
So you saying Will do got a small dick?
I don't know what I'm just saying. You know, I am saying to you, if a woman is used to something the size of a baby leg and you come in with a pinky toe, there's nothing you can do to please her. You can buy her 80 cars. You can get her 80 private jets. If she's itching for that baby toe, if she's itching for that baby leg, she want that baby leg. And if she used to getting the baby leg and you ain't bringing the baby leg, whether you the number one star in Hollywood, whether you buy her a big mansion, you give her access to money, she gonna go get that baby leg. Period.
So who do you know according to you now, that Jada slept with?
Well, it's some celebrity people, and I wouldn't throw them under the bus because they haven't done anything to me. The reason why, and not that I'm even throwing them under the bus, you know. So really quick, so back to the thing about the book. When Will didn't come to my defense, I lost a lot of money. I lost a lot of clients, and I hired a lawyer. And, you know, Will lawyer called me, a guy by the name of Ken Hertz, who is a piece of shit, who is against our people. And then he tried to come in a situation and kind of threaten me. But that didn't work. I kept on. When a slap happened, they asked me, please let us get through this, right? Because it was, imagine if I would have came out with all this stuff during a slap. And then even though Will is not being my friend and allowing Jada to just crush me, right? I just didn't have the heart to do it after that slap situation. I really must say, when I made Salat, sometimes I would cry, right? To see just how much backlash, because I thought Will was going to kill himself because he's already fragile from dealing with Jada. I thought this would be the straw to break his back to where he want to take his life, because Will has talked about taking his own life before. So let's go back to the other story of Jada stepping out. Mm-hmm. So, and this has already been out there, but I can confirm it. So when they did Hawthorne, Jada started fucking with Mark Anthony, who is J-Lo's husband, right? They did a TV show called Hawthorne.
Is that why they divorced?
So
Jennifer Lopez and Mark Anthony.
Yeah. So so let me go a little bit
Okay,
deeper.
go ahead.
Let's go a little bit deeper. So this is a full-on relationship on the set. Like romantic relationship, not okay, I just gave him some pussy and that's it. Like it's a relationship. So, Will hears about this and kind of devastated. At this point, this is where you see all the papers are going crazy. A divorce is imminent and so forth and so on. The final straw is when Will came home and caught Jada fucking Mark Anthony on the couch at their home, right? And this devastated Will, right? I even had a conversation when Will wanted to kill himself, right?
Not over no pussy?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. When they're together, Will's comfortable with that. Will's comfortable with someone fucking his wife when he's there. Is when he's not there is the insecurities, because I can't tell you why, but I can tell you that there's a comfortability when men and women come in to have sex with them. Will's fine with that. So when this happened, like Will kind of went crazy. They would talk about the divorce rumors and so forth and so on. It was big crisis management. Many people tell you Will was driving around California. He's gone. He brought Dwayne a club called Zen Lounge, and Will would come in there and just be drinking and this wasn't the Will. And one of the things that Jada has over him, Will lost it and beat the shit out of Jada. Beat the dog shit out of her. That so bad that they had to make a makeshift hospital in their home so that it couldn't get out to the public. So that pain of Will seeing Jada fucking Mark Anthony on their couch in their home, right? Because he know they were already fucking on the set. This is fact. He just couldn't take it, and he whipped her ass so much that she had to get face surgery and everything. If you look at her face, you could see where she had surgery around her cheeks and all that stuff. So Will don't want that to get out there. This is another thing.
How did you find out about it?
I talked to Will. Will was a basket case. Will was a damn basket case. Like I told you, his lover, Dwayne Martin, and anybody can see it on the records. That club was owned by Will. That's what I'm saying. These private investigators brought me everything to support what I am saying. So that lounge Dwayne Martin said he owned, it was owned by Will. Will brought him that. The Bentley, Will brought him that. The home he lived in, Will gave him the money. Boom. Some of the roles that Dwayne Martin got, Will called BET to get him on there. Like, this is factual stuff. We're not dealing in speculation. I'll let everybody else speculate because they're not from the inside. I'm from the inside giving you the information to the outside. So, that's when she gained supreme control over Will. And as you see, she put so she got rid of all of the top guys around Will, that were real friends, and replaced them with her people. If you look at Jada, she got her mom and all her friends with her, a big teams of people, because Will don't want to be known as a woman beater. And he beat the shit out of her and wanted to kill himself at this point. But I'm not saying that I condone it, but I can see how a man coming home and seeing his wife being fucked on the couch, and you trying to do everything in your power to please this woman, at some point you got to know and understand that you cannot please Jada. And you become complicit in the way she treats other people, even myself. So somebody said something that was very profound. I did an interview with a guy named Andre Tiller, and, he used to be a big pimp back in the day. He used to call him Gorgeous Dre. And he said to me, how can you expect Will to be your friend and he don't even know how to be a friend to himself? Right. And this was in personal conversation. And I found that to be so profound that I had to forgive Will a certain thing. Like, Will don't even love himself at this point. Will doesn't even have the courage to love himself because this woman has broke him down so much, put all his business out to the street. Like I saw something that Rick Ross just posted a couple of days ago, right, about Jada. And it's just like...
What did he say about Jada? I forgot.
He was just talking about you need to sit down. You really need to sit your ass down. You're a liar and you're a clown. And that's in the paraphrasing of it. But this man is scorned, and he tried him hiding that he's bisexual. I believe that's what it's called. Hiding the fact that he beat the shit out of Jada, which he needed hospital care. And there's a number of other things, right? And if you go back and you do the research on Jada and J-Lo relationship, it all starts with Keenen Ivory Wayans.
How so?
Because J-Lo used to dance on Living Color.
Right.
But she was an actress though, but she could also dance. So when they did the movie Low Down Dirty Shame, it was supposed to go to J-Lo. But Jada did whatever she had to do to get that position.
And then she came in and fucked her husband too? Jada. I don't know. I think that's some motherfucking mafia shit there.
Let me go a little bit deeper.
If this is true, Jada, that's some mafia shit.
Let me just pull it all together.
Go ahead.
So it's even more credible. When Puffy was with J-Lo, Will and Jada wanted to fuck Jada. Will and Jada wanted to fuck Diddy and J-Lo. And they were going hard trying to get them. And it's this guy, I believe his name is Mr. Gene Deal. And he talks about it, right? And I was at that party because, Will used to, for his birthday and different events, do these lavish parties and like all that stopped when Jada came in, like start to get control over him. Like, we had people flying out from Philly, 3-4 times a year because Will's doing something big, inviting all his friends and all. So it's like the battered syndrome. It's like a man that batters a woman. He takes the family away. He takes the friends away and he just abuses her and this woman in silence. Well, it's the reverse. Jada got rid of all his friends. So now, and she got all her people into place. So now he's just a beaten, scorned man.
So he won't divorce her because he's afraid that she's going to ruin his career.
Of course.
I mean, I've kind of always known that. Like, he's just,
everything.
Let me just keep her happy and quiet.
Yes. Let me just keep her happy and quiet. I don't want people to know, I'm bisexual. I don't want people to know that I'm a fucking woman beater, And there's some other things too. But because see, like I say, you can't feed a baby steak because they can't digest it. I got 38 years of information, right? And I can't give it to you all in an hour or even 2 hours. You
can come back.
Okay. Well, I would hope that you.
How long? Hey guys, how long have we been talking? Can you come give me a quote, please? There's a couple more questions I want to ask you too.
Are you getting what you need?
Yeah.
Okay.
Shit. I mean, I'm sure the winos will be quite pleased. It's open. 140. Okay.
Damn.
That's good. So,
is it good? Okay.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay.
So I don't want it. I hate 3-hour interviews.
Okay.
It's just
all right.
too much.
All right. Let's wrap it up.
Yeah. Okay. So. Divorced 8 years. I mean, not divorced 8 years. Separated 8 years. He talked about so much. You could tell he was so real. Let's talk about this Tupac situation. what? First of all, when Tupac died, Tupac had a fiance that was at the hospital with him. Why is Jada coming out saying that Tupac was like he proposed to her, he wanted to be with her, and it's coming to the point where the stories keep changing. She won't stop crying about him. It's like she's seeing his ghost or something at night.
Well, let me not say this because I don't like to deal in speculation. So
okay.
I didn't know Tupac, and I don't want to go down that rabbit hole because what happens is when you mix the truth with speculation, it all could become speculation. So I don't really know about her and Tupac relationship. But if you're asking me what my opinion is of her stories keep changing and all this kind of stuff, she's trying to stay credible. Like, even though Jada has all this money and access to all this, what she don't have is favorability. And she wants to be loved. So whatever lie she has to tell, whatever she has to do to become favorable, like Will is a favorable guy, even after the slap, even after, all this stuff Jada said about him, you still want to love Will. Period. You still want to love Will, but at the end of the day, Will is complicit in all these crimes, and I'm sure like this interview is getting long. I hope you will have me back in the next month as I go to the next phase of getting more information that I have and ready to present it. So we got more of that coming, right? It's like I don't see.
You live out the country. I ain't gonna say where you live. You live out the country because you think they're gonna come for you?
Oh, I know they come. Nobody ain't got the information that I have. See, it ain't Will and Jada coming for me now. It is the bosses of Will and Jada. It's Ken Hertz, it's Gelfand, the accounting company. All these big political people who have fucked our people over, have put bad imagery on our people. You don't see Will doing movies about Mansa Musa, one of the biggest, black richest men in the world, right? They got Will doing movies about, slaves and all that stuff because everything is about imagery, what you see, right? So they want to, send so many messages, right? I never forget. I saw Will on, we were on set doing a film, and the director was like, we need you to now, we want to make your pants tighter, Will. Then we need you to walk with a switch, and if you could just move your hands, like we need you to be more feminine because this scene requires. And I'm like, yo, I can't believe, like. You don't believe it. Like it becomes unfucking believable coming from the streets of Philly to see they giving this guy this type of direction. So Will can't do nothing. Will not going to do no films that's going to uplift our people because you think I got a little bit of stuff. Imagine what they got on Will to protect him from all these sexual assaults he done had. Him
what?
And Jada. Yeah, come on.
What?
Come on.
Who they sexually assaulted allegedly?
Listen, let me say this to you. You talking
about during their swinging times and stuff?
Listen, let me say.
I thought that shit was all consensual.
Oh, most of it is consensual, but when you got a dude that's asphyxiated on penises and groomed to that, that's a hard addiction to fight. That's a hard thing to fight. And then you got to imagine, right? Somebody got to protect that. You even look at Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby talked about buying NBC. He said, you know what? I want 24-hour programming of black positivity. I want shows, dramas, comedy, just all about positively of black people. Soon as he said, I'm going to take my wealth and invest it to buy this network, what happened?
All the sexual assault cases from
came
years.
From
it was like women that I'm like, how you even remember that shit?
Right. And it's like he admitted to it. Well, you got to imagine Bill was almost worth $1 billion, right? Will's worth $500 million. This comes from the people who pay them. Because Will's a worker at the end of the day. I don't care whether you work at Wendy's and you make $25 an hour or whatever it is, or you're making $25, $35 million a film. Will is still a worker. His bosses don't want me to disseminate this information. It ain't just they can't stop me. They can't stop me, but these people who are Will's bosses, who signs Will check, who allow Will to make $500 million. And we got to look at what did they make off of Will is what we got to look at. You understand what I'm saying? So if I got information that could affect, and I don't think it's going to affect Will. I think that Will coming out gay and or bisexual, or however you call it, I don't even know how that world works, right? I think he's going to be back at the #1 slot. He just got to atone for his sins. He got to come to the people and just say, you know, hey, look, I've been hurt. This lady has put me at a very low vibrating energy, and I want to get back to who I am and make restitution for the people that he hurt and make the amends of who he is. And I really believe that he'll be back to being the biggest star in Hollywood by coming out, period, and admitting it. Or he, you know, instead of
his star power has gone.
Yeah, but it can come back, because it's like, I don't have to put this book out. Will know what's in it. Jada know what's in it. Just come clean, period. Knock me out. Listen, just come clean. But you're not gonna tell me you're gonna crush me. They told me they was gonna crush me, right? Y'all do this shit to me. Y'all affect my business. Y'all treat me like shit, and then tell me you gonna crush me. And you know what I told them? Fucking crush me. So we at war right now. This ain't, you know, no hyperbole. You know, I'm living out the country. You know, I know the information that I have, you know, so I know they're going to try to come for me. But like I say, I don't fear nobody but Allah. And I know that, you know, he wasn't my friend towards the end as much as I was his friend, and could have fucked him up bad during that slap situation. You know, I thought that would make him come to his senses, but it didn't. So, you know, and I hate to say it, but I'll take that 38 years of friendship to say 36 years of friendship, because I wouldn't do what I'm doing to Will if he was my friend. Because you know, as I know, with the amount of celebrities that I know and information that I have, I could do a book there that would be crazy, but I wouldn't even be able to show my face nowhere.
Real quick, what really happened to Jamie Foxx?
I don't know. I've been out the country. I don't know. I really, really don't know.
You could tell he was really sick too.
Well, whatever happened, this is what I gotta say about
you. Ain't hear nothing?
I didn't hear. Listen, you know, I've really been off the grid, living out the country. But you know, I got love for Jamie. Like, Jamie.
They say he gay too.
I don't know. Listen. I ain't putting that man business out there, but he be fucking them white bitches. Damn. Listen, I don't know what my brother doing.
Why he don't like black women?
I've seen him with black. Listen. I hope
you seen him with black women too.
Yeah, listen,
I thought maybe he had an issue with black women.
No,
Mom wasn't in.
No.
But he's always publicly seen with only white women
because that's what they want to show you. I'm telling you, and like now I feel guilty. I said, yeah, this man been with some black women. I'm not black woman. But they're beautiful though. Like Jamie, a rock star. Like, you know, the people like, oh, Jamie gay. They be having all them parties. No, all them parties, it be 10-2, meaning for every 10 women, there's probably 1 or 2 men. Jamie don't pay that. That's what I'm saying. That's why all these, because people not there. It's people not there. They gonna say, oh, he this, he that. Man, I don't think Jamie, I can't 100% say that, but I've physically seen him with more than 1 woman. I physically, you know, yo, this my boy Bilal, like putting chicks on me. You know what I'm saying? Not no men. No. You know what I'm saying? Not
because for the record, not no dick.
Yeah. Listen, Jamie give you the alley-oop. When you at Jamie house, you gonna eat good. Jamie gonna let you spend the night at his house, and he gonna listen. He gonna be like, yo, this my boy B. You know what I mean? You know, go over there and talk to my, like, he gonna give you the alley-oop. So I don't know where the gay rumors come. The whites, yeah, because I've seen him with a whole bunch of white women out, but I physically seen him engaged with black women. I'm talking about engaged. You know, he a rock star. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, he around the house with
he has the best parties and that.
Listen, but people are not invited. So, and you know, I'm going to listen. First of all, people know I ain't going to be at no parties, you know, with some dick swinging and some gay shit happening, and not, you know, and not to bash that, because even my thing now, if anybody try to take any of this footage and try to bash Will for being gay, I'm coming at y'all to take that shit down off your page, because this ain't a bash Will thing.
So with Will and Jada allegedly trying to get Diddy and J-Lo in a foursome. Mm-hmm. Diddy gay?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know, and I don't want to speculate because it could have been him fucking Jada and Will looking. You know, Will thing. Jada thing to Will is the strap on. So I don't know how that would go.
Jada's
But
allegedly pegging Will from the back.
Well,
she owned that nigga.
Yeah.
He's her
and it
bitch.
shows, and the behavior shows. But this is why I might have to come back before the month. Is this one celebrity who is so asphyxiated on Will, big star, and he's having his people call me talking about what he going fucking do to me if I can continue to do interviews.
Yeah, because you did stuff. With Comedy Hype. I saw your interview. I
did
Hype.
One with Andre Teller.
Yeah.
I'm doing yours. Couple other people reached. I don't even want to say their names. Reached out to me. Whoever you can give me the alley-oop on, I'm going to do some interviews with them because I want this one celebrity to come out so I can, first of all, number one, him sending these threats, to me, having his people call me. First of all, I'm Muslim, man, and you already know what we going to do if you keep running your mouth, right?
Keep the people.
Don't play with me because people know where I come. It's cemented where I come up from Philly, and it's cemented on the things that I had to do for self-preservation in Philadelphia. But I'm going to remain humble. But you need to do your research on Brother Bilal and many affiliations that I have in Philly if you want to keep calling me and having your people threatening me, because this guy, you don't have the powers that be to protect you like a Will. Because you come at me, I'm going at you. I'm going to come back to the Tasha K platform. I'm going to say your name and we going in because people already don't like you. So you keep playing with me, you're going to really bring out the Brother Bilal of 1986 and 1987, and it's going to be a problem. And I wanted to say that. Last thing I want to say, Sister Tasha, is that any name that I mentioned, from Will to Jada to Charlie Mack, who's a federal informant, Dwayne Martin I mentioned, if any of them want me to come on any of their platforms to address anything that I've said, I am available to do such, and all my numbers are still working.
Okay. Now, last before you go, you said you ran into Tisha Campbell.
Yes.
At the Essence Fest last year, and she was crying.
I ran into, actually, it was the last one that passed. I flew out there from out the country because some of my brothers from Philly was out there. Okay. And, they be concerned about me being, internationally by myself, which is better because, I'm getting my weight down. I get to pray 5 times a day with no interruption. I'm able to read the Quran more and, just get back onto my deen because being in California, I gotta admit, I've been off my deen. I'm fucking different type of women. I'm not women, but I'm not doing no drugs and no, stuff like that. I'm overeating, you know what I mean? Praying, sometime missing Jumu'ah, which I ain't supposed to be missing. So this gives me the peace and solitude away from California to really get back into my deen and to connect to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to be that better person. My skin is shining better, my hair is shining better.
Yeah, you say you vegan, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. And, being 55 years old, I need to, get the weight down. But more than that, my spirituality is going up because I'm telling you that prayer, I'll tell anybody, I don't care what position you in. Prayer without work is ineffective, and work without prayer is ineffective. And right now, with me praying and working hard, this book will prevail. People will see that I'm speaking my truth, which I have a right to do. And
is that why Tisha was so emotional when she saw you?
What's so crazy? Because she already know that I you see my page, you see all the people that love me. You know what I'm saying? And, I'm talking about that's probably just 20% of the stuff that I have, but she know I know what happened. I've seen Dwayne Martin, punch her in the eye. He's another woman beater. He's another fucking woman beater.
Oh, wow.
You know, like, what is up with all these guys that are bisexual that you want to beat on a fucking woman? You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a pussy. Dwayne Martin's a pussy. You know what I'm saying? And he's a bitch. Period. I hate to cuss like this, but you know, not saying the other woman deserve it, but the shit he did to Tisha with the help of Will and Jada, she didn't deserve that. She almost got that kind of like angelic spirit. Like, she want to love everybody. And, so, you know, she went through a lot of torment when she was, you know, younger. And it didn't affect, you know, and turn her into a monster, you know? And for Dwayne, Will, and Jada to turn, like, how they turned on Tisha is how they turned on me. So I can't be surprised. And she can't go at them the way I'm going at them, because she still got to work in Hollywood. She got to feed them 2 kids. But this motherfucker punching her, beating her, taking her fucking, I seen that with my own eyes. And as a man, I want to say something, but I don't want to insert myself into their relationship, because even when I was younger, I saw my sister get beat up by her boyfriend. I jump in, my sister hit me in the head with a damn cast iron pan.
Oh, Lord.
Almost knocked me the fuck out, because I'm trying to protect her. So I got a thing about now, I don't get involved with them domestic disputes after my own sister tried to hurt me.
Call the police. That's all you do. But, you know, there were rumors that Dwayne made Tisha, I guess, accuse Martin of, I guess, sexually harassing her. What do you know about that?
That's in the book, too. That's some bullshit. That's some bull. See, here's the thing. Dwayne is very manipulative.
You said it right.
Okay.
Okay.
And man, I got so much. I feel so light, right? You got to imagine it's a debriefing of 38 years of just holding all this shit in, right? Just all the things that I've seen, that I've heard, that I've witnessed.
That's why you're here.
And
so did he tell her to do that?
Of course he did. Of course because you know, Tisha used to mess with Martin. And then one of my friends was the executive producer, and still today is my friend of Martin. So, you know, I got all the...
So they did used to sleep together, according to you?
All I know that they were boyfriend and girlfriend. Right. So yeah. So Martin and Tisha had a thing. Whatever that thing was, it was beyond friends. Because like I say, I don't want to start speculating. I'm not getting on none of these shows with no hyperbole, but I can say from what I saw is that it was more than a friendship, and Dwayne was always jealous of that, you know, period. Okay. So that's how that goes, because you know them two were supposed to rumble. But once again, as crazy as Martin is, Martin got those hands. Well, he do the karate stuff. You know what I'm saying? So he'd have beat the living fuck out of Dwayne. Period. Like Dwayne would have came up there with all that bullshit. Listen, Mar would have been kicking that motherfucker with roundhouses, you know, throat chops, everything. So and then I'm talking about what I know, because I asked the guy who trained Martin, could he train me? You know, so I you know, and he showed me some of the stuff. Listen, Martin got them hands. Them hands of death. Lord Jesus.
Bilal, thank you so much. Your book is going to be coming out here soon.
Yes.
Will Smith, Demonic Circle.
Will and Jada Smith.
Demonic Circle.
Yes, ma'am.
You're definitely going to come back when you're ready for pre-orders or just orders, so that the winos can have first dibs on it.
Yes.
Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule, short notice, to even get out here from out the country.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And I am sure they are definitely going to soak all of this up. So I really appreciate you, you know, allowing me to disseminate your story, and I can't wait for more.
Well, if this one set celebrity keep talking trash and calling me and telling me what he's going to do, because I want him to call in as well too, and he's so sick in the brain that he might just call in.
Look at that camera and say, and now you gotta go.
And now I have to go.
Bye. Thank you, Bilal. Thank you, brother. So how do you say it? Because my husband doesn't use the same lingo as like they do here. So Alaikum salam.
So you would say assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Or you could just say assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Okay.
And depending on what you say, I'm going to say wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Okay.